Welcome back to What Are Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Hummel, the Tier 6 German SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Abbey. I had to think about that one for a second. And it's under the command of talon1958. It's another replay in his contest with Angelina75 for the Weekend Lion. Game on. Well, as always, he's following the advice of Frenzia, the expert player, who actually told us to use the stock gun on the Hummel, because although it gives you shorter range, it gives you much more accuracy, and, well, Talon likes the stock gun, like me. He thinks it's much better, and it is, because you give the same trajectory as on the Gorilla, and it's very accurate indeed. Okay, well, he's gone to the aim. He's now looking for a target. He's found a Covenanter. He's landed a Tier 6 game, which has got Tier 5 tanks in it. Rounds out. And the first shot hits the Covenanter and whacks him for 390 hit points. Now, the alpha of this Arty is 480. So I'd suggest that 390 sounds like he penned him. The Covenanter doesn't have much in the way of armor. It was only supposed to be really a cruiser tank designed to move about the battlefield rather quickly. Oh, that was a direct hit on the T-34, I think. Over that, it was the other tank there, which was the Striv. Okay, well, the next one he's going for is the... Yes, I think it was the Striv who took the shell, actually. He's lost a load of hit points. We've got a Chi-2, and yes! He landed a shell right next door to the Chi-2 and damaged him for another 156 and got some stun assists as well. But he's now going to go for the VK3001P because that's a heavy, and he needs to put some damage on this guy, and he's almost out of hit points. So lined it up, and the guy moves just after he fires. So unfortunately that shell didn't do any damage, but he might get another chance. That's the one good thing about the stock gun, it does load really quickly. The standard reload 25.31, and Talon's got a reload just under, I think, 20 seconds or just over. Yeah, 20.5 actually. Oh, and he gets a kill. His first kill of the game. Now, you know the rules of the contest are to get the highest mastery badge. And if you've both got the same level of mastery badge, then it's about getting medals as well to go with it. So if you can get one medal, say a Confederate or a high caliber, that's great. If you've both got a Confederate, then one of you is going to have to try and get 2 medals. But if you get an ace tanker outright, then you've won the contest for that weekend, and you get to lie in on Sunday morning. Now, he spotted a couple of enemy tanks. Further down the west side of the map, there's Matilda 4. That's the Soviet Matilda, the one which actually had a different gun, the 76.2mm gun. They changed the gun on the Matilda. They actually preferred the 76.2 because they have plenty of ammunition for the 76.2, plus the 40mm gun, although it actually does have a fast fire rate and it does penetrate a lot of armor, it doesn't do as much damage with the HE rounds as the 40mm. The 76 does much more damage overall, so it makes it much more effective. I think the Soviets really wanted to put a 76mm into it because they felt that if they had a 76mm, they had plenty of spare ammunition. And it looks like the Matilda 4's died. He was taken out by the Cromwell B on our team, and now this OI is well, he's stuck. And the Cromwell B was shooting him in the ass whilst he was firing forward. Now our guys have held up the enemy on the river road at the moment. And our guys down the far end here are actually starting to get close to the enemy cap. Talon's moving closer because, of course, the closer you are, the easier it is to actually get a shot on target before the target moves. Okay, this could be a good firing position, but I think he's going to go a bit higher into this channel because it's that much closer to the cap area. Now, the enemy's got an SU-100 near the cap, so we're going to have to deal with that. And the strip, well, he's really close, but he just got taken out. Somebody on our team, the T-3485, just got him. In the meantime, now we're looking at an SU-2 122, and there's the SU-100. Now, I can't see if the SU-100's got the 122mm gun. Yes, he has. Yep, that's the muzzle brake one, which makes both of these tanks exceptionally deadly because they've got a 390 Alpha, and so that's why our guys are having difficulty trying to get into the cap area. And what we need to do is lay down shells to make these guys really suffer whilst our guys are coming in. Well, he found that one blind, but he definitely stunned the SU-100 because it's showing stun now. They're getting proximity shots now. They were close enough to actually spot where the enemy is by the being close enough to them. Oh, now one of the enemy, the SU-2 122 died, and then the KV-2 finished off the SU-100, and that only leaves two enemies left. The Chi-2 on the far side, and I think that's an RBFM. It is. Yeah, the M10 RBFM. He's on the other side of the map. And now, oh, that was close, but not close enough. Now, he's accurate enough with this gun that he can actually land that shell directly on the target. And it's got thin armor, 12.75mm of armor, which means he'll probably penetrate it, because this shell will do 38mm of pen. There's the M10, rounds out. Yes, and he does kill him with a pen. Right on the engine deck. No chance of that M10 surviving that. And that's it, the game's over. They've got the last one. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second class tanker for talon1958 in the Hummel. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, and he also managed to get a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. He actually ended up with 13 critical hits. I forgot to mention that. And his win rate from that battle was 2,242, which is very good indeed. And in fact, actually, that score beats Angelina's, because she managed to get a second class and a Bruiser, but she didn't get a Confederate in her batch at 155.55. So Talon is definitely in the lead. Let's have a look at the detail. Well, the highest damage in that game actually went to the KV-2, got 1,840 hit points. Second highest damage went to the KV-1 with 1,439. And the third highest damage, yes, that actually went to the SU-100 on the enemy team, 1,299. Yes, he was using that big 122mm gun for his armament. And that's why he pipped Talon, who got 1,261, very close behind. In fact, actually, the OI on the enemy team also managed 1,270. So there's a lot of players with about the same damage. When it came to kills, though, it was the T-3485M on our team. We got the highest with 5. 3 kills went to the other T-3485, and he also picked up a Spartan and a steel wall in that game. And the third highest was shared between the KV-2, Talon, and 2 members of the enemy team. The SU-100 and their OI all got 2 kills each. When it came to base XP, he's a little further down the table. The T-3485M got 983. The Cromwell B got 883, and the T-3485M got 821, with Talon getting 671, but that's still better than all of the enemy team, because the highest scorer on their team was only 364, so he did very well in that game. He fired 12 rounds, 5 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrations. I know one of those penetrations, it has to be the RBFM, because that shell went straight through his engine deck. Yes, it did, for 131. Let's have a quick look and see who else he penned. The Covenanter, yes, I was right. He did hit the Covenanter for a pen shot with 390. That one right at the start of the game. Yes, the Covenanter only has very thin armor. In fact, although it was made as a cruiser tank with a Christie suspension to be able to run around the battlefield at high speed, it didn't really have a good technical aspects to it, and it probably wouldn't have been a very good tank in the desert. He was perfect for Britain, really, because of course it was it needed cold weather for actually the radiator to work properly. Radiator was at the front of the vehicle, not at the rear, and with the lack of dust, the engine could work properly. But if that Covenanter had actually been put out in the western desert, I think they would have broken down very, very quickly. So yes, it was good for exercising and teaching the servicemen how to use tanks, but it wasn't good for battle. In fact, the only reason they built the Covenanter was it was a design on the books straight away, and they needed tanks and they needed lots of them. And so they built it straight away as quickly as they could. And then when they got hold of the American tanks that were coming in, the M4s and the M3s, they were much better off because those tanks were more solid and much more reliable than the Covenanter. And thankfully, the Covenanter didn't have to be seen in battle. But anyway, I'm waxing on about the Covenanter when I should be talking about Talon's results. Let's go back to the details again. He also got 12 splashes on the enemy as well. 1,261 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 2, so there's your Confederate, and that was a good one as well. 428 hit points of stun assist off 12 stuns. He earned 34,761 credits from the battle, 17,381 from personal reserves, and 122,381. That's a massive score, and that's some holiday ops. So yes, that was very much worthwhile. 174,523 credits altogether, and after ammunition resupply, he took away 168,463 credits profit. 1006 XP times 2 for the first victory. Same again from personal reserves, took away 3,019 experience points altogether. I think they're missing off the holiday ops score down there, but yes, a very good result. Actually, no, they're not, if I'm thinking about it. But anyway, so a good result. That's the first battle. Now, Talon did send in another replay towards this week's competition. And in fact, Angelina sent in another replay as well. We'll deal with that one after we've done this video for Talon. Let's have a look at the second battle. The second battle is on the Cliff map, and we're on the south spawn this time. Game on. He seems to be getting a bit of lag right at the start of the battle, because all of a sudden the vehicle seems to have turned. Not sure why that might be happening, but I do know that Talon and Angelina have both been experiencing internet problems recently, mainly down, I think, to the storm, because of course, as you know, America is going through a pretty awful weather pattern at the moment. They've got a kind of polar vortex. It's not really a polar vortex, it's just this is actually what does happen in America because of the landmass that runs down, rounds out on the chappie just behind him, and it stopped him in his tracks, and he just got hit by a huge number of, well, not a huge number, but other teammates, and so he got the stun assist off that one as well, because he actually did 86 hit points of damage, but the rest of it he picked up his stun assist. Okay, he's going for the Rudy, rounds out, lands on the rock behind him, but he does get some stun. Yes, I could explain it in more detail, but it's actually down to the jet stream and the way that the jet streams form over America. It's you'd be surprised about the amount of information I have about weather and climate change. It's not what you think most of the time. Oh, another one bites the dust, and this time it was a Sherman Jumbo. Jumbo being the one that's heavily armoured. Suffice to say that because of the way that the jet streams flow over America, and of course they hit the Rockies and they change pattern, and as a consequence a lot of cold air actually comes down from the Arctic over Canada. Canada gets it first, and then it hits the United States, and at this time of the year it's perfectly natural for a cold weather vortex, as they call it, but it's actually not a vortex, it's the incorrect term for it. But it's perfectly normal. Oh, he got him as he came forward. It's perfectly normal for that weather to actually form in that particular way. And obviously I could explain in more detail about the fact that we are seeing warming. People who say that it's not warming, that's not true. It is warming, but it's not down to carbon dioxide. I could explain it in more detail if you wanted, but it's actually more to do with solar activity, and that has a lot to do with the amount of cloud cover that we actually get and how much of that then stops the sunlight from getting in and heating us up. I'm a big fan of certain scientists who've actually been working on this for decades. It's a fellow called Roy Spencer and another one called Dr. John Christie, who've actually been looking for all the signs that it was down to carbon dioxide. It's not. And of course, some of my other favourite scientists, Dr. Willie Soon, who's been working on solar activity, and he's been actually using computers to work back through history and try and work out what the weather was in the past. In fact, I have mentioned this before whenever I've actually had comments on various other people's videos, and you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't actually know about the truth behind it, but there's lots of interesting things. Maybe I ought to do a video series all about climate change and some of the unusual facts that most people don't know. Rounds out. Oh, he got the rear of him and he's gone. He's having a good game here. He's actually nailing these guys, stunning them, stopping them intermittently, and our guys are then getting the kill shot in. We're 4 tanks above the enemy at the moment. Okay, so he's decided to change position, which is a wise decision. There's 2 enemy Arty, an SU-8 and an SU-122A. Of course, our team has a BP on its team, which is actually quite lucky. But Talon's decided to get closer to the enemy, because he does have a range limitation caused by the fact that this is the stock gun. Oh, that was a direct hit on the Borlak, on the rear engine deck. It was the BP that hit him. Rounds out. It lands just alongside the Borlak. The BP actually fired around him, which hit the ground just before ours did. And that guy's hugging the rock now because he doesn't want to get hit by our shells. And there's a Panzer IV Ausführung H on our team a short distance away. And our Chi-Ri goes in and gets a suicide kill by taking him out. Okay, so there's still 5 enemy out there. 2 of them Arty. All 5 of the enemy tanks are tank destroyers. A T-67, an SU-122-44 and the Jagdpanther. The enemy Arty are probably down in this corner of the map. We found the SU-122. There's the SU-8, making a quick dash to get to the bushes. And Talon's styling in. You need to lead him. Wasn't quite enough lead there, but the enemy are falling like 9-pins now. Now there's somewhere in these bushes. He's marked the spot where he's looking. There's the T-67. He's the most dangerous of the enemy because he's got a 76mm gun with a very fast fire rate, and he's pretty nimble, so he can get away from us. But if Talon puts a round in on that corner right now, he's marked the spot, and he got, oh, he didn't get the kill. The Fifi got the kill. He stole it away from us, but now we've got the Jagdpanther up on the sniper's nest, and Talon can of course put a shell into that sniper's nest because he can fire over the rock, whereas the other Arties can't. Oh, and they got a kill on him. The AT-7 took him out, and that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that game was a first-class mastery for talon1958 in the Hummel. So yes, he's definitely beaten Angelina now, because he's not only got a first class, he also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 5 exactly. And he got a Confederate out of that one as well to match his previous Confederate. And his win rate from that one is actually lower than the one in the previous game. 1,108 in 103 in this one. The other one in the Abbey game was actually much higher, but of course he did do a lot of damage to the tanks that he was firing at, and we can see that now if we fire up the details. We can see that the amount of damage he managed to get was 814. Unfortunately, the highest damage actually went to our Shure MV7X, picked up a high caliber for 2,278. Second highest damage went to the 87, who just kill-stealed away that Jagdpanther at the end. I'm pretty sure Talon would have hit him easily. 1,702 went to him, and the third highest was the Jagdpanther on the enemy team with 1,642 hit points. So when it came to kills, it was the, well, there's a number of them all together who got 2 kills. The Shure M42, the 87, the Jagdpanther, the Fifi managed to get 2, the AMX AC46, and the Chiri died getting his second kill. On the enemy team, the Jagdpanther, the SU-122-44 both managed to get 2 kills. Talon didn't get any kills at all in that game, I'm afraid, but at least that earned him a Confederate. When it came to base XP, well, he's much better off because he's actually in second place. The Shure M42-57 managed to get 844, whereas Talon managed to get 783, and 605 went to the Jagdpanther. He fired only 10 rounds in this game, got 2 direct hits, but no penetrations in this battle, 8 splash. Damage of 814 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 6 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but that earned him the Confederate. But he did get 1,494 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns, and that combined with the damage over here meant it was over 2,000. And yes, that was the stun assist was what earned him the first class in this one. He earned 41,699 credits from the battles, 20,849 from personal reserves, 20,850 from holiday ops, and 83,398 altogether. And after ammunition resupply, took away 78,348 credits profit. 1,174 for the battle, 4,700 from holiday ops, 1,174 from personal reserves, and took away 7,049 experience points altogether. He says, thank you for shooting the stunned tanks, or thanks actually, which is it's a play on words actually. Very clever. But yes, it worked. You see, he was getting the shells onto the enemy, which was basically stopping them in their tracks. And all of a sudden, our teammates would, or his teammates would pile on in and kill the enemy tank very, very quickly. And that's what Arty's very good at doing, because whenever you see one of those light-wheeled vehicles running around the battlefield at high speed, it's down to Arty to lay a shell in their path, try and slow them down, or stop them in their tracks, and then everybody can pile on in and kill that light tank before he does any more damage. In fact, that's one of the best things about being Arty, being able to nail one of those buggers and then seeing them die to your teammates in the process. So yes, that means Talon is in the lead with a first class, a bruiser, and a Confederate. Now it's up to Angelina to provide a better result than that. We'll be doing another video very shortly, yes, because Angelina has sent in a replay, another replay in her back chat 155.55, so we'll see if she manages to get a better result than Talon. I hope you enjoyed both those replays. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.